All right, you guys. Y'all gonna have to come on in here if we're gonna talk. If we're gonna talk, you gotta be here for it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I told y'all 3 o'clock. Y'all didn't see the time? It's 3 o'clock. I'm actually a little late, so I'm sorry. But all right, so we're gonna talk about some things today. I really wanted today to be a question and answer type of format, but I'm gonna just go ahead and start talking about the metaphysics of what's going on in our society today. I want to talk really about the different ways you can look into yourself and find the answers of your internal being. So when you are projecting, for example, there are some things, thank you. There are some things that you can do to look at yourself in this open on space so you can actually look at your projection. Something that we really don't use as a tool for self-development and a way for us to actually build our life reality. We don't look at our projections in an effective way. So what I want to do is help us get to a place where we can actually look at what we are projecting, look at our agreements, and look at the really the promises that we have as we're moving through this reality, because there are some things that are promised to us that we need to be mindful of. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Reese Roberts. This podcast is Entertain the Thought. My website is reeseroberts.com. You can go there at any time to see more about me and what I do and what I teach. So the first thing I want to talk about, like I said, is these projections. If you are the type of person who, first of all, a projection, let me make a definition here. A projection is what I'm going to define as an emotional expression. Any type of emotional expression that you have is going to be considered a projection, which means that there is a behavior, there is a thought pattern, there is a belief system that's deeply rooted in you that is causing you to project out into the universe a certain way, a certain vibration, whether that be high or low. And so when you project out this vibration, it has an effect. It has a cause and effect. You are the cause, and whatever happens on your in your external reality, that is the effect. As you vibrate outwards, you also attract inward. So we're going to talk about how you can start to assess things in your life to make sure that this projection is actually attracting what you are trying to attract back. If you are thinking that you should be attracting a certain thing to you and that's not happening, that means it's because you have not assessed or evaluated your projections accurately enough. It means that you are not looking at your output so that you can figure out what's the input. Because I'm going to tell you this, if you look at the output or the outcome of your life and it does not match what you have envisioned for yourself, that means there is something there that's not it's not jiving, it's not computing. So what you need to do is reverse engineer. You have to start going through the left hand path, or you have to start going into your dark matter or your dark path or your darkness in order for you to start reverse engineering this thing or your path towards the light, which is your intended path, which means if you have a destiny that you're here to fulfill, what you need to do is make sure that that destiny is aligned, or excuse me, that your actions and your belief systems and your thought patterns, that they are aligned with that destiny or with that vision that you've created of yourself. And so and the frequency of it all, or I should say the way we're using the frequency is for the magnetism. We're using the frequency to bring us back something from the ethers. We're looking for this cause and effect relationship to bring us back something. So once we can tweak the cause and effect relationship, we should be able to get that frequency to a level where it's actually benefiting us in our walk or our path towards our destiny. So how are we doing that? Like I said, we're looking at input and output. But what do you think about yourself? What is it that you believe in? How are you coming up with your understanding of this reality? The reason why I want us to look at that is because, like I said earlier, there are promises, and I think it's Pharaoh Akhenaten. You said a question, contractual promises, and I want to answer to you emphatically, yes. Contractual all the way. Every day that we move in this reality and we have this interaction or engagement with the universe, I want you to listen to that word that I used intentionally, the word engagement. We are in an engagement with the universe where it receives our thoughts as seeds. And whatever we plant as a thought seed is what the universe will give back to us so that we're fulfilled. But those seeds are packed with our beliefs. Those seeds are packed with our perceptions and our understandings, the knowledge that we've had accumulated over the years, the experiences that we've accumulated over the years. That's where we get the contents of the thought seeds that we're planting into the darkness of the universe or the ethers, which is where creation comes from. So as we are telling the universe what we want through our thoughts and through our desires and the longings of our heart, is creating a magnetic pull on the universe that's causing us to experience whatever those things are. So as we're projecting and sending these signals, these waves of thought and frequency out into the universe, what's happening is it's bringing us those things back based on those thought seeds. So any person who is having an experience that they're not intending to have, or they don't want to have, or something they can perceive to be negative, what I'm suggesting is that there is something within that person that must be identified and must be clarified in the spirit world so that that magnetic pull can bring back something that's more along the intended frequency that the person is wanting to vibrate on. So with that being said, we're going to look at some different ways to do that. If we look at how we talk, like let's just say, for example, we are talking about our business venture and we say, oh, it's just my little business, I'm just out here to do a little hustling and I'm just going to do this and it's going to be, oh yeah, but I want to be successful. I definitely want to have abundance, and I want to have this success in my life that allows me to retire, to travel the world. I want to do this, that, and the other. But then at the same mouth where we're speaking our desire for all of this abundance, we're also talking small about what it is that we're doing to get there. So the universe in our subconscious mind is more so hearing that, hearing the underlying belief of those words, the words that we speak the most. If we're saying, this is my little business, this is, oh, it's just something that I'm doing, I don't know, people don't really like it, but, I'm just doing it just to get out here and this and that, just kind of unsure about it. A lot of times it sets the tone for the universe to give us that experience. The universe will tell us, oh, well, you're talking small about this thing. So what you need to do is make sure that, well, this is what you're going to experience. You think that this is a small endeavor. You think it's a small side hustle. So that's what it will continue to be, because that's how you're looking at it. That's how you're thinking of it. That's how you're speaking it. And more than likely, that's how you're acting about it. More than likely, you're not investing in it. More than likely, you're not seeing how it actually does benefit people. And you don't necessarily see your value. Because otherwise, you would be speaking in a tone where you are excited about the success, where you're seeing the bigger picture, where you're seeing the bigger benefits and the bigger values that you have to offer. Through your belief systems and the things that you are doing behaviorally. So as we are looking at these projections, we have to start to understand what is beneath them. So beneath any of your projections, what you have is, like I said, a belief system or a pattern of thinking or pattern of thought. So once you have identified something in your life that is not going according to your intentional plan, then you have to do that reverse engineering I was just talking about to figure out where did that come from. So as you start to, let's say, break down your thoughts into this analysis, okay, you're breaking down your actions, you're breaking down your speech patterns, your thought patterns, you're breaking down everything about yourself that is causing the magnetic pull. All right, so I need you to know this because it's very important. The magnetic pull you're experiencing in the universe is coming from those thoughts and beliefs. It's coming from those thought patterns that are rooted in belief systems that were given to you from a source that is not yourself, more than likely. Why? So what I suggest it to do in wisdom is to make sure that whatever you are projecting, whatever you're believing, whatever you perceive, make sure that that is rooted in something you actually agree with. Because a lot of times the things we say are not necessarily in agreement with the things that we believe, or the things that we believe are not in alignment with what we say, and vice versa. So, we have to start making sure that reverse engineering is happening in a very effective way. So let's talk about that. If you see that something in your life is not boiling down to your plan, like I said before, what you should do and what I'm suggesting that you do in your reverse engineering is, once you get down to the original thought, question, where did it come from? How did you get there? Where did it come from? And how are you going to deal with it in such a way that it makes sense towards what you're doing in your walk? If your path says I'm going in this direction, but the behavior is sending you another place, then that is a projection, or I should say an emotional expression that has to be evaluated. It has to be evaluated to the point where you're looking and listening to the effects that it has on you. And most situations, people will look at the negativity in their life and just say, oh, this is because that person did that, or that person did this, and it didn't work out because of all these outlying or outside circumstances. But in truth, the universe only gives us experiences that are pertaining to what we're thinking already, pertaining to what we're expecting already, what we believe already. And so the more and more we put those things out into the universe, that's what creates the magnetic pull. Your heart, the belief of your heart, the thoughts of your mind. First of all, your heart believes what it believes because of what your mind is thinking, or what your mind has experienced, or what your eyes and what you've experienced in your lifetime. So it's up to you to question those things and to say, okay, even though I experienced this, does that make it true? Does that make it my reality? Does it have to be my reality just because I saw it, just because I experienced it? Can I not make this something different? Can I not make it something better? Can I not have a different outlook about what this is in my life and what it has to be? Because there are so many situations where it doesn't. It does not. Most of the things in your life do not define you. Most of the things in your life, you're simply attached to it. And if you were to release your attachment, then you would be able to define yourself in another way. You would be able to create your image in another way. You would not be bound by your thoughts, or you would not be bound by your emotions. What you would need to do is make sure that you are examining why. Where did that come from? Reverse engineering. So once you can address, why do I feel this way? Why am I expressing this way? Why is this my experience? Then you can go in there and start to rearrange, lose the attachment, and then you can say, okay, well, now that I'm not attached to that belief, what belief is it going to be? What reality am I going to create? Because I was acting and thinking and feeling out of this reality that I was once attached to. But now that I'm losing that attachment and saying, well, no, I don't have to operate in this reality any longer, because I'm no longer attached to the idea that this is my small business, or this is my unimportant identity. So many people feel like they don't matter, or nobody's listening, or they're all alone, or I can't do this, or all these fear-based low vibrational thoughts and energies that we get attached to. So, or the self-loathing, the self-pity. We have so many different excuses as to why we're in this low vibrational frequency. And we question, why are we receiving all these low vibrational responses from the universe? It's because you're vibrating there. You only experience things on the level that you vibrate on. So this is, again, why we're doing this reverse engineering. We're going and saying, I'm no longer attached to that thing that told me I was not worthy, or that told me I could not do it, or that told me I should wait, or that told me that I'm not good enough. I'm going to detach from that, because I'm creating the world that I want for myself. So let's go deeper. If I want to create the reality that I am bigger than I perceive myself to be right now, what do I have to do to convince myself? Because again, what you're doing is creating the magnetic pull, and you're creating the level of frequency by making sure your thoughts are ringing out in a certain way. So how do you create these high vibrational frequencies? How do you create these high vibrational thoughts and all of this, this pull that's going to give you this abundance and all that? It is the perception of it. It's you conditioning your mind to think a certain way so that your heart will meet you there. Okay? Most of the time, we don't understand there's a hierarchy or a certain order to the way we create the magnetic pull. Okay? When you're creating the magnetism of your attraction and the law of attraction, and you're creating this reality, what's happening is your mind is leading the way. Your mind is creating the thoughts. Now, there are there's like a system of checks and balances that go between your mind, your heart, and your instinct, which is also housed in your gut. All these things are functional in creating your vibrational frequency. So, but the brain, your mind, is the leader in that process. So if you're creating a magnetic pull, what you're doing first is you're designing your thoughts. Okay, you're designing your thoughts so that they actually affect what your heart is actually thinking or feeling and believing. So if your heart is feeling and believing a certain way, your mind should already be in line with that, already be in compliance with it. If your mind is thinking a certain way and then your heart is saying, "Oh no, I don't agree with that. That's not right. I'm afraid of that." Then you're misaligned. All of your shit is getting ready to start manifesting in a way that you don't want it, because your mind is thinking another way and your heart is feeling and experiencing something different. So what you have to do is get to a place where your mind is leading. Okay, well, you can also lead with your heart. I don't suggest that, because that gets fuzzy. When you lead with your heart, that motherfucker will get stomped on. It will get trampled, and you have to stop it. It fuck around and turn cold. You can't. I don't suggest leading with your heart. Okay, I'm the type of person. This is my personal preference. You can lead with whatever you want to lead with, but I like to lead with my mind first. I'm gonna think about it first, and whatever I see fit from my thoughts. If I feel like my thoughts are suitable, then I will allow my heart to get involved. I have to see the logic there first, and if I see the logic there first, then I can get my heart into the place where it's believing, because that's how I attract. Once my mind and my heart and my intuition, my gut, once all of those things are all aligned with each other, then I have the strongest magnetic pull that I can use in this law of attraction that makes my experience what it is. So, raising my vibrations by designing my thoughts to lead my heart, to align with my intuition. Then what's going to happen is I'm going to start. Yes, I am. Somebody asked me, am I a sapio? Yes, I am, very much so. So once I have my alignment in order, then I will start to see those manifestations coming out according to my intent. And that's when life starts to get good. That's when life starts to get to a point where you're experiencing happiness and joy and abundance and peace, tranquility, all those things that you are promised. Okay, now this is another thing that I was talking about, these promises. The promises that we're given, spoken in the Bible and prophecy and all these things, they come to us when we understand the nature of alignment. When we understand the nature of this magnetic pull that we're designing with our thoughts, feeling with our hearts, and believing with our gut, then we start to walking in these promises. Okay, the universe tells us that the tail will become the head. That is a promise that we are abundant. We live in an abundant universe. That's a promise. It's true. That we will be provided for. That's in the word. That's in the scripture. Health and wellness. It's a promise. Peace. Um, Peace through faith. Those are the things that we're promised. We get those promises, but our problem is that we don't really know how to walk in the promises. Okay, we get the promises and we hear something abstract. We hear something that's not for me. How can I be abundant when nothing in my life is satisfaction or to satisfaction? How can I walk into this, or how can I have the provisions or be provided for when I feel like nothing in my life, I don't have anything that I need, or I need so much more than what I have? So, we get this doubt that starts seeping in, and it starts to affect or lower down our magnetic pull or lower down our frequency, which also makes our experience less than desirable. So this is where we have to start looking at the cause and effect relationship. This is a Kabbalistic law of nature. The Kabbalion talks about the fact that our reality is cause and effect. Every time we have a thought seed that gets planted into the universe, meaning this is what we're thinking, it's a vibration that we're on, it causes an effect to happen in our reality. So when you think, it means that you're okay. Let's just say, for example, I'm dating somebody, right? Me and this person are fairly new in our relationship, but I am insecure. Okay, I have these insecurities where I'm telling myself that I am not good enough and this person is probably going to cheat on me because there are pretty girls out there, and they're way more prettier than I am, and this person is going to clearly be more interested in those prettier girls than I am. So because I have that thought pattern, because that's what is innately in me because of my insecurities and the things that I have not healed from, my childhood traumas, my relationship traumas, the toxic levels that I've been existing in, my environment, my mental thought environment, because those are the seeds that I'm planting into my reality, guess what's going to happen? My reality will begin to form around that thought. It will begin to form around that assumption that I'm making, that agreement that I'm making. Because when I'm in contract with the universe, the agreement is whatever you think is what you will experience. Whatever you think is what you will experience. So if I'm in this low vibrational existence where I'm insecure, and my man starts to, let's say for example, he walks out of the room to take a phone call, because I am moving forward with that thought pattern, that is what's going to start forming around me in my reality. So he walks out the room to take a phone call, and immediately in my mind, he's cheating on me. Immediately in my mind, he has some desire for something outside of me, because I've had him walking out of the room trigger something in me that has not been dealt with, and there's the reality that I'm experiencing that I don't want to experience. So I get to accusing him, I get to checking his phone, I get to going through drastic measures trying to prove to myself really that he's not cheating on me, when really it was me in the first place who convinced myself that he was cheating on me. And so there goes the beginning of my troubles. And what's going to end up happening when that thing actually fully manifests? You do that to a person who's not cheating on you. Start checking their phone. Start questioning everything they do. Start running down their friends list. Start going on their Instagram, their social media, trying to check on everything, trying to, be suspicious about everything. Do that to a person that's not cheating on you and see what happens. Either they're going to leave you, or you're going to manifest your own destiny, and they're going to start cheating on you because you're pushing them away. You're treating them like an enemy already. So that it begins to manifest your reality when you're already thinking that thought pattern. But let's just say you flip the script. Let's say you flip the script and you stand independently, you're confident, and you're not worried about anybody cheating on you. You ain't checking no phones. You're not doing no extra, none of that. You just living your life, being free and happy. This person is loving you. They love your energy because you stand alone. You stand on your all 10 of your own toes. So when they come around you, your energy is so enjoyable and so lovely. They don't even want to be around nobody but you. So you ain't got to worry about nobody cheating. Because I'll tell a person like this, you can go ahead and do what you want to do all you want. But if I found you doing something that crosses me, all I have to do is remove myself. You the one that lost. And a lot of times when you stand on your own 10 toes like that, you're not insecure, you're not investigating, you're not checking no phones, you're not going on social media, you're not coming up with 101 questions, then that is the type of person that wants to be around, or that woman wants to be around. All that jealousy, all that stuff, you're creating, that thought pattern is what is creating the reality around that thought. And that goes for everything in your life. It's not just your relationships. It goes for your business. It goes for your career. It goes for your family. It goes for anything you think of, your friendships, anything you can think of, it applies. So what's happening is that what we're doing, so that we're not creating these negative realities, we're looking at the way we're vibrating. We're looking at what's going into the thought pattern that is forming the reality around it. Okay? Because every time you have that thought, every time you tell the universe what you think and what you believe, the universe does not question you. The universe says, well, you have had this experience. You obviously think this way, and I'm just going to take your word for it. And there you go. There's your experience. There is your life, because this is what you're telling yourself that you believe. This is what you're telling yourself is the right way. This is what you're telling yourself is where you want to go. Okay? And so if you know anything else about the promises that we have in this universe, we are promised our freedom. Ooh. Mm-mm. What I just say, we are promised our freedom. That means you have your free will to think the way you want to think. Now, a lot of people, they think of free will and they think, oh, I got the freedom to go outside. I got the freedom to do this or that. I can do this if I want to. I can do that if I want to. No, the universe doesn't talk about freedom like that. You're talking about freedom on a superficial level. You're talking about freedom on a materialistic, carnal way. You're putting it in a carnal context. But what the universe is talking about is you have the freedom of thought. And that's where your real freedom comes from, because that's where your reality is created from. Your thought seeds. Now, when you create these seeds of thought, that's what's creating your reality. You have the freedom to think however you want. So, are you thinking in a way that is progressing your life? Are you thinking in a way that's making you healthy? Are you thinking in a way that is giving you justice and equity in life? Are you thinking in a way that's giving you peace? Are you thinking in a way that's giving you self-esteem, that's giving you success? Are you thinking in a way that is bringing you the reality that you want to have? If you are not experiencing a reality that you want to have, it means you're not thinking right. It means you have to approach that thought in a different way. It means you have to approach that life, that part of your life, in a different way, magnetically, because your thoughts are the initiator to your magnetic pull. Once your thoughts begin to move in a certain direction, your heart is sure to follow. Your heart is sure to take on that thought as reality. And there you go. It creates reality for you, your subconscious mind. And I want you to know that about your subconscious mind is that when you have a set of experiences, the way you look at those experiences, the way you think about it, like I said, it's the way you think. The way you look at those experiences, those are the notes that get passed down to your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind says, oh, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and deliver this reality because this is the way this person is thinking. They're the ones, they're having this reality. They're perceiving it to be this particular way. So I'm going to go ahead and serve that reality on a platter. I don't know if you know this about the reality of the universe is cause and effect does not discriminate. Cause and effect, that relationship does not discriminate. Whatever you're doing, whether you like it or not, it's going to produce a certain effect that you are causing. And so this is the reason why I'm telling you about reversal or reverse engineering. It's because if you are seeing something that you don't like, it draws back to you. It don't draw back to nobody else. It draws back to you and the way you're thinking, the way you're looking at your experiences, the way you're processing your experiences, the way you're seeing what's happening in your life. If you see it as something that's dark and dreary it will be. If you see it as something as light and inspiring and transformative, then that's what it's going to be. If you see it as something that is going to hold you back, something that you have to wait for, something that you have to endure, that's what it's going to be. But if you see it as something that is teaching you, something that is giving you perseverance, something that is making you stronger, that's what it's going to be. You can't stop that. It is the wording. It's the way you're looking at it. If you say, this is my little small side hustle and this is going to one day be the success of my life. And that one day this is going to be huge. One day it'll happen. But if you keep saying that in your subconscious mind, one day it will happen. It won't happen now, which is the difference that you need to make in the way you're programming your mind to lead your heart. So if you start to say, this is a project that I'm excited about. This is something that I believe is going to be successful because I'm passionate about it. I'm looking at it in such a way that I don't have to wait. It's good enough for me to be successful at it right now because I am passionate about it. And whatever is going to happen, it's going to come to me. So the way I'm going to talk about it from now on is I'm looking at this like, this venture is not just my small this or that. This is my seed to success. And so I'm protecting it with my words. I'm covering it with my behavior and my thought patterns. I'm not looking at it like, oh, this is just something that I thought about and it's just going to be whatever. That's not going to get it. You're programming your reality with your thoughts. It's just like if you were to sit in front of a computer and give it language. The language that you're using is programming your mind, is programming your subconscious mind to agree with whatever you're saying your experiences are. If you're saying that and I need you to understand this, your subconscious mind is responsible for generating that agreement with your heart. Your subconscious mind is the thing that gets your heart to believe. Because like your subconscious mind, your heart also cannot see what's going on. Your heart doesn't have a perception. Your mind has a perception that your heart will agree with. Okay, your subconscious mind doesn't have a perception. Your subconscious mind has an agreement with what you say, you think, and believe according to your experience. So when your subconscious mind is believing what you say, when you perceive your reality, your subconscious mind is like, all right, great. Now I'm going to go ahead and contact the heart. Okay, this is the way it flows. Let me go ahead and contact the heart so that me and the heart can start this magnetic pull. You start attracting. So let's get it going. You start with the thoughts. Your subconscious mind says, let me go ahead and run off with these thoughts and let me talk to the heart. So the heart starts saying, oh, I believe that. Whatever was communicated to me from my subconscious mind, you know, when you say, I got this in the back of my mind, this was in the back of my mind. That's your subconscious mind you're talking about. When it starts communicating with your heart, relaying those messages that you're telling it through the language that you're programming through your mind, your heart is getting ready to start pulling towards that belief system, towards that thought pattern. Your heart does not care that you didn't mean that. if you're not looking at it the right way, if you're looking at it from a negative perspective, if you're looking at it from fear, if you're looking at it from a low vibrational frequency, guess what? You will exist there. You will vibrate there, and that's where your heart will remain because you have not programmed it to do anything else. Now, I talk about this all the time. Your brain is a quantum computer. Okay? It operates off of your language. Your quantum computer operates off of binary coded language, just like any other computer that we use on, this artificial system that we work with today. So when you go in there and you start programming in your subconscious mind, you better be using the right language. You better be saying it with the right words. You better be coming at it with the right perception, because guess what's going to happen if you don't? Your heart will believe whatever you say from the wrong context, from the wrong intentions, from the wrong purpose, the wrong perception. And guess what? Your reality will not align. It won't align. It will not align. It's almost like, if you were to code a computer to do one thing, and then you go and try to use it in another way. It don't work. You can't use your let's just say let me say an electronic device. You can't use I'm about to say you can't use your this for that, but you can use your phone. I was gonna say you can't use your phone to change your TV, but you can. I've done it before. I use my phone to control my TV, but you understand what I'm saying. Certain devices are programmed to work in a certain way, and it's no different from the device that is your human mind. It is a device. It is programmed to work in a certain way, and that programming is originated with you. It originates in your thoughts. It originates in your perception, and however you're looking at things, that is how your reality will be formed and shaped. So that's what I have for you guys today. I'm not going to do a whole lot more because I'm going to do these every day. I'm going to come back tomorrow. I don't know what time. I might come back tomorrow at 3. I might come back tomorrow at 3, same time. So that way we can have another discussion. And I want you guys to make sure that you are listening to my other episodes. If you click the link in my bio, you'll see the link to go ahead and listen on Spotify to entertain the thought, and you'll have access to the wealth of episodes that are on there. So do take advantage of that. Make sure you're getting your food, okay? Because being on quarantine, being on lockdown, you can't really do anything, to enrich yourself externally, but on the internal, oh my God, you can do so much, okay? You can do so much. So click on the link in my bio, listen to Entertain the Thought, listen to those episodes that poke out to you the most as far as the title is concerned, and just get that food in your mind. Start thinking about things on different levels, because I'm going to take you all the way up here. If you're on my level of thinking, you're going to be all the way up here, baby. So you might as well go ahead and just take that dive, listen to the things that I'm saying to you, because they're going to change your life in some ways that you may not even be aware that you even need those changes. You might not even be aware that you need them. So when I'm talking to you, the words I'm speaking to you are meant to penetrate. The way I'm talking to you is meant to penetrate your understanding and to really disrupt the core of what you think is true about reality. When I'm telling you these things, I'm telling you because I want to break it up. I want you to destroy those parts of yourself that no longer serve whatever you're trying to accomplish in your life. The destruction is necessary if you're going to build anything up. And I'm telling you, if you're going to destroy anything, don't destroy yourself. Don't destroy the potential that you have. What you're destroying is the negative implications or the negative components of your life that don't serve that vision. Okay, you know who you're trying to be. You know who you want to be, where you want to go, how you trying to get there. You should be knowing that stuff. And if you don't, let's think about it. Get on that podcast so you can start asking those questions. And that's what the podcast is designed to do, is to get you to a place where you're asking the right questions on your internal. And that, of course, will affect your external. If you're asking the right questions in your mind, then your physical reality, as above, so below, it begins to manifest. It begins to come correct. So you need to use your resources as much as you possibly can. You know, I'm here to be a resource. Those episodes are great resources for you to begin that questioning process. For you to begin that process of questioning your reality, questioning your social existence, questioning your home existence, questioning the existence of you inside of your temple. I don't know if you know anything about worship, but I'm going to tell you, if you think that going into a church and raising your hands and singing the song and clapping and singing and crying, if you think that that is worship, you are sadly mistaken. And I need you to listen to this podcast so that you can get your mind right. Because worship is what you do on a daily basis with your life, with your thoughts, with your actions. That is worship. Now, I'm going to tell you, we often worship things that are external in our environment, and we look outwards to figure out how we're going to live daily. Okay, well, we look and we see, oh, there's a career that I'm going to pursue. I know how I'm going to live now. Oh, I want to get this money, so I know how I'm going to live now. That's not the way to go about that. What you need to be looking at is, oh, this is what I'm passionate about, so that's how I'm going to live. This is what I want to see in the world, so this is how I'm going to live. This is how I want to impact people, so this is how I'm going to live. If you're thinking about money to determine how you're going to live every day, you are sadly mistaken about how you're going to achieve happiness, how you're going to fulfill your life, how you're going to achieve a sense of satisfaction and, dying a happy person. If you think that money is the reason that you're out here hustling, or if you think money is a good reason to be out here hustling, you are sadly mistaken. And you really need to go back into your your journey, your exploration of yourself, to identify yourself. Because if you identify your daily life with the pursuit of money, you're sadly mistaken. You'll never be happy. I don't care how much money you get. I don't care how much money you get. You're not going to be happy. Because if you're only thinking about yourself, you're not looking at how this is going to impact the world. You're not looking at how it's going to impact others, your family, yourself. Where do you think you're going to get happiness from? That's not how you get it. That's not how you get there. So I need you to listen to these episodes. Listen to these episodes so you can get to a place where you are figuring out the satisfaction of your life. Figuring out what's going to carry you to a place where you're going to look in the mirror and say, well, goddamn, I'm happy with me. I actually helped somebody. I actually did something that was a goal that made me feel good, because I saw somebody smile. I saw somebody uplifted. I saw somebody go higher because I was able to uplift them or catapult them in a certain way. You understand what I'm saying? That is how you reach a level of satisfaction. That's how you get yourself to a level where your projections are aligning with your original thought, where your projections are aligning with your intentions and the I want to say the direction that you're intending to go. So listen to those episodes. You guys come back tomorrow. I'm going to have something else for you here tomorrow, and we're going to talk about some things. So I want you to really do some soul searching to see if you have any questions. If you don't know anything about metaphysics, if you don't know anything about the laws of the universe, if you don't know anything about the science of nature, the science of your consciousness, or the science of consciousness itself, this is where you need to be. Because this is what governs your life. This is what makes you go, literally. Okay? These are the things that are systematic in your life, meaning that they're not going to change. The universe is systematic, and everything it does is by decency and order. Everything the universe does is in a certain order. And there's nothing you can do to change that. So you might as well go ahead and get with the program. So when I tell you to return to nature, that's what I'm telling you. Learn the laws of nature. Learn the laws of rhythm. Learn the laws of correspondence. Learn the laws of mentality, of cause and effect. Learn those things. Okay? Learn them. Learn them. So that way you can get yourself to a place where you are intentionally vibrating on a level that is abundant, where you are intentionally pulling things into your reality with this magnetism, things that you actually want to experience, not just things that you feel are happening to you by having happens. That does not happen in this universe. Anything that you think occurred to you by coincidence, or you just think it just happened to you because this world is fucked up, that's not the proper way to approach your life experience. The right way to approach your life experience is for you to take ownership of it. For you to say, I am in control of this whole show. And the only thing that I'm going to experience are the things that I want to experience. If I don't want to experience, I don't accept it. I don't vibrate on that level, and I don't entertain any of those thoughts that I don't want to experience. Because why? If I entertain a thought that I don't want to experience in my reality, guess what's going to happen? It's going to show up in my reality because I entertained it. That's not, and so we got to start understanding what it means to have those thoughts in our head. Okay, when you have that thought in your head, that's what you're going to experience. So if you don't want to experience it, get the thought out your head. Think about something differently. Get the thought out of your head. All right, you guys, my name is Reese Roberts. Go to reeseroberts.com right now. Click on the link in my bio right now. If you need help with relationships, I'm here for that. Click on the link in my bio right now so you can book an appointment with me. I can sit down with you, your spouse, and we can talk about the relationship issues, talk about the challenges, talk about the reasons why you're not talking to each other, talk about the reasons why you're not experiencing the output that you want to experience. Because again, input and output. This is the law of the universe, law of correspondence. So if you're experiencing a relationship that is not what you want to experience, it's your fault. It's something that you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you need to talk to me because I'll tell you what you're doing. I will tell you what you're doing that is not aligned with what you're saying you want to experience. So I want you to use me for what I'm here to be used for. I want you to go to that website, educate yourself about what I do, and then come back to me. Give me some, give me what you got. Give me what you got. This is all, you guys. I'm signing off. I love you so much. Please do come back tomorrow at 3. I'll be back with more. Bring your questions and bring your insights. Love you guys. Peace.